Hello, good morning, you guys, and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. As you guys come into the room, please do hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. I hope that you guys are doing okay on this morning. I know that I am. I always express the importance of hitting the like button because the like button helps keep the video in the algorithm, okay? So make sure you guys please like, share, subscribe, comment, and all of those great things. I am up this morning. I didn't get a chance to come on last night because I was actually I fell asleep doing some grant work, right? At this point in time, being in school, I'm going to have to find those grants, other than a Pell Grant because I don't qualify, and scholarships to pay my way through college and through when I go apply for the law school. So trust me, I've been getting an early start on it. And I've been pretty successful. I fell asleep. I found me some stuff. Okay. That's why I'm trying to keep that GPA at a certain level. And I'll be able to do it. Okay. But this morning when I got up, okay, I saw where the feds have indicted some NBA players, okay? Some current and former NBA players, coaches, about 30 of them, and they done even drag LeBron names in a gambling probe, okay? Child, they is outside getting everybody, okay? I gotta make sure I don't reckon, but I don't think they want no broke person, child. I don't think they want no broke person like me, praise the Lord. It says Cash Patel, director of the Federal Bureau of Investigations, announced dozens of high profile NBA arrests in a federal probe into an illegal gambling ring. Patel named more than 30 current and former NBA players, coaches, and members of the Sicilian Mafia. Oh, wow. Miami Heat star guard Terry Rozier and Portland Trailblazer head coach Chauncey Billups were amongst the arrests made in 6 separate early morning raids on Thursday. Individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today. Former current NBA players and coaches, Patel said during a press conference on Thursday morning. Patel continued the FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today. Not only did we crack into the fraud and these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed the system of justice against La Casa Nostra to include Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese. It's not Lucchese. It's Lucchese crime families. Because I be looking at one of them got a that Lucchese. It's something. He's got a crime. He's got a vlog now. He's an older man. He went to jail and um he was one of those crime families like the guy like the Gambino crime family, and he old he out he owned a lot of the Exxons now. I be looking at him. He old and I think he's sexy, old Italian. He's real postured and calm, and when he talk, and I don't know, it's just something about guys like that when they have that and they be about the business of getting their own motherfucking money. Even though I know he's dangerous, I wouldn't marry a man like that. But I mean, I wouldn't. I'm sure he's got a wealth of knowledge. Okay, I could have a conversation with him. But anyways, him. Okay, him. But I digress. It says Terry Rozier, 30, was taken into custody at a motel where the Miami Heat stayed before their 121-125 loss to the Orlando Magic on Wednesday evening. Terry did not play in the game. He is amongst a list of current pro athletes accused of betting on sports and influencing the outcome of NBA and NFL games in exchange for a cut of the gambling profits. Now, how stupid can you be? You already making millions of dollars, but you shaving points. You shaving points. You in with the mob. I mean, could the mob be possibly paying them more than what the NBA is paying them? How stupid can you be? He is amongst a list of current pro athletes accused of betting on sports and influencing the outcome of NBA and NFL games for a cut of the gambling profits. Terry's arrest comes after sports books in multiple states flagged suspicious betting activity on his statistics ahead of the Charlotte Hornets versus New Orleans Pelicans game on March 23rd, 2023. Now, they've been investigating them for 2 years now, it looks like, probably more. But let me just say this. I guess it's greed because they're looking at, well, we still going to get paid by the NBA, rather we lose or not, and we're going to get some of this mob money. How stupid can you be? It says suspicious activity was flagged on Terry's points, rebounds, and assists. One professional bettor made 30 wagers in 46 minutes, totaling $13,759 on Terry's statistics ahead of the game. A compilation video shows Terry casually turning the ball over and missing easy shots during a game against the Cleveland Cavaliers. They actually got the game, okay? And he did. He just giving the ball away. How dumb can you be? Okay, I'm looking at it right here. I'm going to try to download this video and put in there. The feds got where they've been shaving games. It's always they even got the video of him just making like he's tripping, just easily fumbling the ball.
And the meter's still running, which is still going. Oh, Rozier turned it over again, having a tough night. And Rozier off the DHO, and he turned it over. Turn it up, but you don't want to play with your team, especially against the Miami Heat. I tell you, hey, you don't like playing in Miami? Yeah, they're doing lock down to 3. They got to get busy. Rozier with a 9-1-1 comes up short. And on Merrill. Rozier, a contested 3 is short. The ultimate teammates and sacrifice so much. Rozier on the show and go. That all year. Empty corner 2-man game. Rozier with a 3. Anderson with a rebound. Rozier relocates for another try. Well, that was awfully short.
They're always investigating stuff like this because they keep their eye on the mob all the time. They always got surveillance and stuff on the mob. It says the NBA cleared Terry Rozier of any wrongdoing earlier this year. Now, that was earlier this year, and so they cleared him of any wrongdoing, and they make you think you got away, okay? They make you think you got away. It says Chauncey Billups, 49, who was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame last year, was arrested in Oregon and will appear in federal court later today. Chauncey arrest is linked to illegal poker operation run by the mafia, according to ABC News. He and other NBA players and coaches are accused of helping the mob steal millions of dollars for high-stakes poker players. Wow. Chauncey and his co-defendants allegedly used very sophisticated technology, including card shuffling machines, special contact lenses, and eyeglasses to read pre-marked cards. They also used an X-ray table that could read cards that were face down. Oh my freaking God. Now they got the glasses on the table where and they use glasses where you can see straight through the cards. Oh my God. Oh my God. They're showing the video. The feds are showing the video of the special lenses. Y'all excuse me, I got a little cold. That they use. Okay, it says details of the rigged poker games that Damon Jones and Chauncey Billups were involved from the U.S. Attorney's press conference. X-ray machines built into tables to read face-down cards, contact lenses that read pre-marked cards, and secret cameras in trays. Okay. Cash Patel names multiple high-profile NBA players. Now, here is the press conference of Cash Patel. He is the chief of all of chiefs of the FBI, of the main FBI.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Joseph Nocella. I am the United States Attorney for the Eastern District of New York. I'd like to welcome you here today. In addition, we have with us today FBI Director Cash Patel, FBI Assistant Director in Charge Christopher Rea of the New York Field Office, Special Agent in Charge of the New York Field Office Leslie Bakshi's, New York Special Agent in Charge of Homeland Security Ricky Patel, Newark Special Agent in Charge of Homeland Security Michael McCarty, Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch, Chief of Detectives Joseph Kenny, and the Executive Director of the Waterfront Commission, Phoebe Sorrell. I'm now going to turn the podium over to FBI Director Cash Patel.
Good morning. Today we are here in New York to announce a historic arrest across a wide-sweeping criminal enterprise that envelops both the NBA and La Casa Nostra. The men and women up here standing with me represent a small portion of the leadership team that brought profound justice in an era that needed it more than any. I'll just highlight some of the details in the case and the FBI work, and then you'll hear from the others. But as you now know, individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today, former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Casa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchesi crime families. And you'll hear more about those details today. The charges and the arrests that were taken down across this country range from wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, robbery, illegal gambling. This FBI will leave no room for any perpetrator of crime across this country. You hear a lot about our work of defending the homeland and crushing violent crime. Well, this work is also representative of a colossal portion of the FBI's mandate to keep America safe and to keep our entertainment industry fair and secure. The men and women that are standing up here today worked tireless hours, days, months, and years. And the fraud is mind-boggling. It's not hundreds of dollars. It's not thousands of dollars. It's not tens of thousands of dollars. It's not even millions of dollars. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars in fraud and theft and robbery across a multi-year investigation. And we could not have done it without our interagency partners that are before us today. The NYPD, HSI, and teams of law enforcement officials from around the country made this day possible. It takes a team to bring this kind of justice, sweeping justice, into the halls of the United States courtrooms, where our brave United States attorney has led this prosecution. It takes courageous prosecutors to stand before you and say, we will not allow this kind of illicit activity to happen, not only at the national sporting level, but also where it hides in La Casa Nostra. And when these two collided together, they perpetrated a fraud that is historic in terms of not just money, but the scheme and the deceit that they utilize to steal and swindle people from money, to include crypto fraud. This is an operation that showcases to you that under President Trump's administration, there is no room for any type of criminal behavior, be it on the world's largest stage or in the back rooms of tiny parlors where card games are being played. We are proud to stand here today with the men and women of the FBI and this legal team. And to the United States Attorney, I just want to thank you personally for taking the time to display the work that the media is about to hear about today in detail. As I said, it does take courageous prosecutors, but it takes a courageous United States Attorney to bring this case, because we are going to take heat for it. But we don't shy away in this administration. We don't say no. What we do is we bring the results across the finish line. We bring them to the public. We bring you accountability. And yes, they will have their day in court, and you will hear the evidence through the court system exclusively. We will not deny anyone of due process. And that's the brilliance of this system. That's the brilliance of this administration. Everyone will be held to account. So with that, I turn it over to United States Attorney Nosella. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Patel. To be clear, we're announcing today indictments in two major cases, both involving fraud. One involves sports betting, and the other involves illegal gambling, very specifically rigged poker games. The first indictment involves 6 defendants who are alleged to have participated in one of the most brazen sports corruption schemes since online sports betting became widely legalized in the United States. This scheme is an insider sports betting conspiracy that exploited confidential information about National Basketball Association athletes and teams. The second indictment involves 31 defendants alleged to have participated in a nationwide scheme to rig illegal poker games. These defendants, which include former professional athletes, used high-tech cheating technology to steal millions of dollars from victims in underground poker games that were secretly fixed. The games in the New York area were backed by the Bonanno, Gambino, and Genovese crime families of La Cosa Nostra. While the cases are separate, there are 3 overlapping defendants charged in both cases: Damon Jones, Eric Ernest, and Shane Hennon. The indictments in these cases contain only allegations, and the defendants are presumed innocent until they are proven guilty in a court of law. But my message to the defendants who've been rounded up today is this: your winning streak has ended. Your luck has run out. Violating the law is a losing proposition, and you can bet on that. First, I would like to talk about United States versus Ernest, the NBA basketball gambling case. The defendants in this case are Eric Ernest, Marvez Farley, Shane Hennon, De Niro Laster, Damon Jones, a former NBA player and coach, and Terry Rozier, a current NBA player. Other co-conspirators were previously charged for their roles in the scheme, including former NBA player Jonte Porter. Between December 2022 and March 2024, these defendants perpetrated a scheme to defraud by betting on inside, non-public information about NBA athletes and teams. The non-public information included when specific players would be sitting out future games, or when they would pull themselves out early for purported injuries or illnesses. They relied on corrupt individuals, including Jones and Rozier. They also misused information obtained through long-standing friendships that they had with NBA players and coaches. And in at least one instance, they got their information by threatening a current player, Porter, because of his pre-existing gambling debts. Defendants used this non-public information to place hundreds of thousands of dollars in fraudulent bets, mostly in the form of prop bets on individual player performance. The bets were placed through online sports books and also in person at casinos. The defendants relied on a network of straw bettors to place the maximum amount of bets to increase their potential profits. Most of these bets succeeded, and the intended losses were in the millions of dollars. The defendants then laundered their illegal winnings in various ways: peer-to-peer platforms, bank wires, and simple cash exchanges. The indictment details specific examples where the defendants profited from illegal gambling and illegal betting on various NBA games about the performance of players on, among other things, the Charlotte Hornets, the Portland Trail Blazers, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Toronto Rangers. Each defendant in the NBA basketball gambling case has been charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering. Now, I would like to turn to the other case, United States versus Aiello, the rigged poker game case. Beginning as early as 2019, the defendants in this case orchestrated a scheme to use wireless cheating technology to run rigged poker games across the United States, including in the Hamptons, Las Vegas, Miami, and Manhattan. The scheme targeted victims known as, quote, fish, who were often lured to participate in these rigged games by the chance to play alongside former professional athletes who were known as, quote, face cards. The so-called face cards included the defendant Chauncey Billups, who at the time of the scheme was a former NBA player and is currently the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, and also Damon Jones, a former NBA player and coach. What the victims, the fish, didn't know is that everybody else at the poker game, from the dealer to the players, including the face cards, were in on the scam. Once the game was underway, the defendants fleeced the victims out of tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars per game. The defendants used a variety of very sophisticated cheating technologies, some of which were provided by other defendants in exchange for a share of the profits from the scheme. For example, they used off-the-shelf shuffling machines that had been secretly altered in order to read the cards in the deck, predict which player at the table had the best poker hand, and relay that information to an off-site operator. The off-site operator sent the information via cell phone back to a co-conspirator at the table, and that person at the table was known as the quarterback. The quarterback then signaled secretly the information he had received from others to others at the table, and together they used that information in order to win their games and to cheat the victims. Defendants used other cheating technologies such as poker chip tray analyzers, which is a poker chip tray that secretly reads cards using a hidden camera, special contact lenses or eyeglasses that could read pre-marked cards, and an X-ray table that could read cards face down on the table. What you see depicted on the screen right now is an example of the X-ray table that reveals the cards. Although they are face down on the table, they can be read because of the X-ray technology. The Mafia, specifically members and associates of the Bonanno, Gambino, and Genovese organized crime families, had pre-existing control over non-rigged, illegal poker games around New York City. As a result, they also became involved in the rigged poker games, helping to organize the games and taking a cut of the proceedings, and working to enforce the collection of debts. The defendants laundered their proceeds, including through cash exchanges, the use of multiple shell companies, and through cryptocurrency transfers. As part of the scheme, some of the defendants and their co-conspirators also committed acts of violence, including the gunpoint robbery of a person in order to obtain a rigged shuffling machine, and extortions that were perpetrated against victims in order to ensure that they repaid their gambling debts. Defendants who participated in the rigged poker scheme are charged with wire fraud conspiracy. Other defendants have been charged with crimes including illegal gambling, money laundering, Hobbs Act robbery, and extortions. This case demonstrates our office's unrelenting commitment to fighting the scourge of organized crime in whatever form it takes. I'd like to conclude my remarks by thanking the incredible hard work of our law enforcement partners, including the FBI, Homeland Security, the NYPD, and the Waterfront Commission. I also want to thank the dedicated prosecutors who built these two cases and who are standing to my right. Benjamin Weintraub, David Bourbon, Caitlin Farrell, Michael Gibaldi, Irisa Chen, and Sean Sherman. They had the assistance of paralegal specialists Liam McNett, John Schneider, Marlene Bosler. Also deserving of our thanks because of their outstanding investigative work on the NBA case are FBI Special Agents Russell Lantier, Dominic Mariani, Amy Giaroso, Shane Wilkins, and Supervisory Special Agent Luke Hardison. On the rigged poker game scheme, outstanding work was performed by FBI Special Agents Thomas Cribbin, Jeff Boriola, Jonathan Corona, Alexander Silverman, Amy Campanaro, and Supervisory Special Agent Michael Malahi, as well as NYPD Task Officer James McCullough, and from Homeland Security, Supervisory Special Agent Charles Freund, and from the Waterfront Commission, Detective Paul Shimborski. Finally, I want to note that the investigations in both cases are ongoing, and we encourage anyone with information about either scheme to please contact the FBI.
Okay? You guys, this stuff is crazy. It is just greed. I'm trying to understand how in the flip flop could these guys be so stupid? They're already making millions of dollars. It's purely greed. I do not feel sorry for people when they are greedy. Okay, it's one thing when you are making decent money. Okay, and you go, okay, well, I want to get a legitimate job, not to continue making decent money, to make ends meet. But when you're already making millions, but I know when they making millions, they get all types of other bills, right? Millionaires be over budgeted all the time. But why not just pace yourself and budget yourself? You're already making all types of money in the NBA. And if you do what is necessary, you can become a star. They say, and make even more money. You become acquired at that point. They say they even drag LeBron James' name in this type situation. Hey, now I don't know if LeBron is so favored that they ain't gonna mess with him. Okay. Um, Hey, evidently they told on him because it says LeBron James dragged into sports gambling case by former teammates and coach. So yeah, they're gonna try to take LeBron down with them. It says LeBron James was dragged into FBI sports gambling investigation by former teammate and Los Angeles assistant coach Damon Jones. So Damon Jones told on LeBron James. Okay. It says Jones is pictured center with James and then Cavalier head coach Tyrone Lue in a photo dated June 6, 2017. Jones is one of the high profile NBA players and coaches arrested in a massive FBI sports gambling sting. Okay. Evidently, I didn't read it all. Okay. It says, according to the New York Post, Jones sold information to co-defendant about James' injury status on February 9th, 2023. The text messages urged the co-defendant to place a large bet on the Lakers' opponent, the Milwaukee Bucks, because James was not playing that night due to an injury. The information about James' injury status was not officially announced before game time. Get a big bet on Milwaukee tonight before the information is out, Jones texted, according to the indictment. Jones is a longtime friend of James who played with him on the Cleveland Cavaliers early in James' career. In 2024, James allegedly received a tip from a Lakers coach that one of the Lakers' best players could be out with an injury before a January 15th, 2024 game against the Oakland City Thunder. Okay. Jones pictured left with James in 2007 passed the information to co-defendant Eric Spook Ernest, who shared the tip with online sports bettors Marv Farley. Farley allegedly gave Jones $2,500 for the information. Farley then placed a $100,000 bet on the Lakers to lose the game. crazy is that you let somebody give you $2,500 and you making hundreds of thousands of dollars, possibly millions, Farley. But the star player believed to be Anthony Davis ended up playing and the Lakers won the game. Oh my God. So LeBron James, it don't seem that was in this. I guess they're saying he was talking to his friends and they knew he was injured and according to that, they sold it to the gamblers. Okay. It says a furious Farley demanded his $2,500 back from the game. It isn't clear if Jones returned the money. Cash Patel, director of the Federal Bureau of Investigations, announced more than a dozen high-profile NBA players' arrests in a press conference. Okay, I think that's where I started at. Wow. Okay, so y'all, it's crazy. Okay, it is. Okay, so that's how LeBron James ended up getting dragged into this situation. But like I'm saying, like the league is mainly saturated with black men. Okay, why, you guys? Why would these men do this? And they're already making money. It's just pure greed. They are going to take them down. They have been investigating them for a very long time. And a lot of these these coaches were once NBA players. They were NBA players around the time I was looking at the NBA back in the 90s and early 2000s. So they had already made quite a bit of money. They're making quite a bit coaching. But I know, they get caught up in child support and all of that, but it's still greed. They're still making millions of dollars. It is absolutely ludicrous. It is. It's absolutely ludicrous. So, listen, child, this is going to be interesting. I'm sure this is just the beginning. They're going to be telling everybody now they're probably going to lose their jobs, on this federal indictment, even if they get off. Okay, even if they get off, and they've been watching them now for at least 2 years, they've been doing this. They got video. That means that they got somebody talking. That means that they started to somebody that was involved in this, and I'm sure they sent. Um, they got a FBI agent or something to go up undercover to do some bidding. That's the type of stuff that they do. Okay, that is the type of stuff that do. People don't know how deep in how deep undercover FBI agents will go. And folks thought I was joking when I said, and he may not be, okay, but it's funny when I said it to somebody one time when I was looking at his vlog, and then it started coming out that he could possibly be or he was affiliated with the FBI. That guy, Adam, okay. When I looked at him, and listened to his lingo and how he did his interviews. I said, Adam is a deep undercover FBI agent, some kind of. I know how undercover they go. It'll look like they married somebody that's a porn star. They will. I mean, to me, I would think that some of the things when they have to go deep undercover would be criminal because they'll have relationships with the people. They turn into a totally another character to get their organization. Okay, um, yeah, they do. And I'm sure this is what happened to get them. Okay, I'm sure that they sent an agent that went deep undercover, probably did some bidding. You never know; could have been carried on a relationship with one of the female FBI agents, so that they could pillow talk and all of that good stuff. That's the type of shit that go on when they want to get you. Okay, and they got some that will do it. Okay. Anyway, it's gonna be interesting to see how this turns out. Okay. Hey, I hate this, but it's just pure greed. I don't understand why these men continue to do this stuff. Knowing that the people are paying attention and they are watching. Okay, they're paying attention and they're watching. So, anyways, you guys, I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to support the channel, you could definitely support the channel via Cash App or Super Thanks. Talk to you later.